Hi everyone, welcome to the isometric flag workshop. Um, so for this workshop, I'm going to show you how to do isometric drawing. It's one of my favorite art styles. It's essentially just a top-down angled view of things. As you can see, this is a really nice kitchen that someone's done. If you want to see more, go check out this isometric Reddit page. It's r/isometric. Reddit is an awful place, but sometimes they have some amazing hidden gems that makes it all worth it. But yeah, isometric drawing is really versatile, super simple to do, super fun to do. And as you can see, it can be done with various different softwares. Um, I'm going to show you how to do it in a vector program today, but you can use drawing software, you can use 3D modeling software, you can even hand draw isometric drawing. It's super versatile, and a lot of game developers use isometric drawing, especially for mobile games, because of how simple it is and how effective the art really is, because it looks fantastic. And of course, there are like programs like this which are dedicated to making isometric drawings, but I'm going to show you how to do it with vector software today. We're going to be using Affinity Designer. If you don't know what Affinity Designer is, it's pretty much just Illustrator, but a one-time payment instead of giving Adobe all your money. Um, and the reason why I prefer Affinity Designer to Illustrator for isometric drawing is because Affinity Designer comes with a grid for isometric drawing, whereas with Illustrator, you have to either make your own grid or paste one in from the internet. And that's a lot of work, especially if you're doing a lot of design work relating to isometric drawing. So yeah, if you're ever trying to do isometric drawing or isometric vectors, I'd recommend Affinity Designer, especially if you want to save a few pounds. Uh, I'm gonna stop shilling and get to working. But yeah, we're gonna use the pen tool for this because um, I don't really want to talk too much about color. I just want to talk about the basics of isometric drawing. And we're gonna use the pen tool. We're gonna start off with a black pen. We're gonna make it. Let's see how thick we can actually make it first. Maybe a 1 pt. Let's see. You're gonna be doing a lot of experimenting with this. Yeah, I'd say maybe make it 2 pt so it's easier for you guys to see. But essentially, isometric drawing is just drawing straight lines, and that's it. It's literally as simple as drawing straight lines. We're going to start off with a pretty basic building here. So we're going to work with our squares. Apologies if you can't see that. Actually, instead of using the pen tool, I'm going to use a shape tool instead, because that will make it easier for you guys to see what I'm working with. So as you can see, I am placing down a shape real quick, and I'm going to change the fill to blank because I don't want colors, and I'm going to change it to a 1 pt as well. So as you can see, we have this square now. We're going to line it up with the red lines of the grid. And one of the reasons why Affinity Designer is so good for isometric drawing is that we have this grid here for isometric drawing, like I said, but the good thing about this one is that you don't see loads of lines. Like with isometric grids, normally you'd see like the lines going diagonally, and then you'll see lines going down to the right, to the left. You see lines everywhere. But with this one, it splits up the lines. So you've got a top view, you've got a side view, and then you've got a front view, and that makes it a lot easier to stay on top of what you're doing. So we're going to work with the top view right now because we're working on the roof of this. And we want to make it slightly longer because we want a rectangular roof. We don't want a cubed roof. Cubed roofs are boring. But yeah, as you can see, we've got this, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 big squares wide, and then 6 big squares long. The grid is a little bit harder for you guys to see, but you get the gist of it. You can see that there's red lines and there's blue lines. The blue lines are the subdivisions, and yeah, they're just there to help with details. So as you can see, I'm using the subdivisions now to work out how big I want to make the roof. So as you can see, we've got 2 lines now, very fancy. This is going to be the roof. So if that makes sense, we're going to change to the front view now, and we're going to draw another rectangle. And because we're using Affinity Designer, it kind of just fills in. Well, essentially, you can work. I. It's hard to say. Basically, look, if I draw a rectangle and I'm using front view, it will fill the shape at this perspective angle. And then if I change it to the side view and then press fit and plane, it will change it to fit that isometric view. And then if I want it for the top, I'll change it to the top grid and I'll press fit and plane and it'll do that. And you can do that with any shape. It's really useful tool. And I'm going to go back to the pen tool real quick because I want to fill in this area here. So yeah, we want to change it to the front view, as you can see. Now we've got some depth to this. We want to change it to the side view now. And we're going to fill in this section. As you can see, that is a much nicer roof now. We got a bit more 3D to it, if that makes sense. When I make these videos, it sounds like I'm waffling a lot, and I probably am, but it'll all make sense at the end. If you just follow what I'm doing, it will all make sense. Trust me. We're gonna make this 5 high for the roof, and we're gonna do that for this side as well. Yeah, just bear with the waffling, because the waffling does have some method to it, if that makes sense. Now, as you can see, we have the roof completed. This is all you need for a roof. You can keep it super simple, super basic. It just works. Now we want to do the front of the building, which is just another rectangle essentially. It's really that easy. You just draw rectangles and fit them to the grid. And we've got that rectangle. So what are we saying? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 high. Maybe we'll make that 5 high. Yeah, we'll make that 5 high instead. Of course, when you do your isometric drawings, you don't need to be as calculated as I am. The reason I'm super calculated with my isometric drawings is because I just like everything to be in order. Like, it needs to look good, if that makes sense. But yeah, we have the outline of our building now. And this is where we can start getting technical with the details. So before we do that, I want to add a second part to the building. I want to add a little garage, I guess. So we're going to do that. We're going to group these layers because this is the main area. And yeah, we're just going to make another shape now. What I want to do is I want to make the front of this. Yeah, we'll do it like that. We'll do it 3 big. And of course, this is the outline layer, so you don't need to worry too much about how you're working with it. That's about 3 high, I'd say. Yeah, as I was saying, this is the outline layer, so you don't need to worry too much. Just get it done nicely, and you should be fine. And we're gonna duplicate this layer, so we press Ctrl J. I think it's the same for Photoshop and Illustrator to duplicate layers. And we're gonna make that 3. Yeah, and we're gonna make that a bit wider as well. And then we're gonna copy the original one here, and we're just gonna drag that over to here, like that. Now you can see we're halfway to making a second building. It really is, you know, that simple. I'm going to keep saying that because I don't know why. The word simple is just in my head right now. So it's the only thing I'm capable of saying, apparently. We actually want to line this up with this door here. So, look, we need to make this one longer here. And this should now line up with the roof. If your eyes hurt watching this, don't worry, mine hurt as well, but it's okay. We'll get through this together, I promise. Now, we want a roof to this, but we want this roof to be what's the word? We want this roof to be angular. That's the word I'm going for. So we're gonna grab a shape. We're gonna grab the triangle tool. Do we have a right angle triangle tool? Because that would be a lot easier. I'm not sure if we do. That's a shame because I would have loved to use that. I can't believe we don't have a right angle triangle. Actually, I'm pretty sure I could make a right angle triangle. So we're gonna work with the side view for this roof, and we're just gonna do this. And then what I can do is, I guess I can edit the nodes. Can I edit the nodes? Please let me. Okay, yes I can. Thank God. Okay, so we're just gonna drag this. Okay, this is the wrong tool. Please help me. Node tool. Yes, there we go. Okay, so we can drag this and fit it to here, like so. And as you can see, we've got a little triangle now. But this is too high now. So we want to bring it down to about here, because we don't want it the same length as the what do you call it? We don't want it the same length as the main roof for the main building. So we'll grab that triangle again and we will put it over here. And as you can see, we have a somewhat of a roof. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, which it probably doesn't, I'll be honest with you, that looks decent. But we want to add a bit more detail to it. So, Jesus, my stomach is gassy today. Okay, so we want to quickly just add some more detail to this building by just making it as 3D as possible, I guess. And of course, you don't need to be too worried about how neat this is, because we're gonna go over this. This is just the base layer, like I said. So be as messy as you want with this. And then we want a little garage door here, I guess. So fit that there. And then we want maybe a window here. Go with a we'll go with some slightly larger windows. This is gonna be like a garage. Again, I'm making stuff up as I go along because that's normally how I work best. Just make it up as you go along and hope for the best. That's my motto in life. But it works most of the time, so just gotta keep doing what you're doing. Right, so we've got the door there. And of course, like I said, we're gonna go over this again. So we're just gonna group everything together and we'll change the opacity down to like 50% because we've got the base of the building now. Now we can work with the pen tool and just get it perfect. So I'm going to grab the pen tool real quick and we are going to work on the top real quick. You don't need to worry too much about the grid now. You just need to fill in the lines that you want to keep. So as you can see, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just filling in the lines that I want. Okay, that bugged out. There we go. Sometimes you have to click away. Okay. Okay, right. Sorry if I'm quiet while I'm doing this. I want to get the lines as perfect as possible without messing up my original line work. Right. Okay. All right. So here is the first complex part of the drawing. Okay. Oh, okay. My pen is bugging out right now, but it's fine. We're getting there. We're getting there. Don't worry. The pen can bug out all at once. It won't. It won't stop me. Nothing can stop me while I'm isometrically drawing, guys. Right. We don't actually. Ooh, do we want this line here? See, this is where you can be selective about which lines you want to keep and which ones you don't. I actually do want to keep this line because I want to do the triangle here. So I am going to keep that line there. Perfect. And I'm gonna do that line there. So obviously you saw that the when I was doing the triangle earlier, it wasn't exactly perfect, but when you go over it with the pen tool, it will be perfect because it will join up to those points there. And there we have the roof. We actually want the roof to be a different color to the rest of the building, so I'm gonna put a line here. I was planning to just not put the line there, but you know, I kind of want it now. Yeah, we'll do the door first for the garage because that is what we see first. Basically, if you're worried about which lines you need to keep and which ones you don't, just think about what you're going to see first. So I'm going to see this garage door before I see that pillar or the back of the pillar. So that's why I keep the garage door instead of the pillar. But obviously, I'm going to see this bottom part of the pillar, so I'm going to keep that in. It's really simple, really logical. There we go. Now we have the outline for the building done perfectly. We can get rid of the group now. As you can see, I left the floor here because I wasn't too happy with the placement of my doors and whatnot. So I'm gonna, while I'm doing the floor, I'm gonna work on that. So what I want to do is I'm gonna quickly do this. Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, so the reason why I left this part empty is because I want the door to be a little bit inwards. So it's going to be a little bit inside of the building rather than, you know, everything being so flat against the building. It just adds a little bit more depth to the design. Obviously, when you're doing isometric drawing, it's all about making it look a little bit more 3D because, you know, this is I guess it's a sort of flat 3D art style. Doesn't really make sense, but makes sense in my head. So yeah, we've got this door here now, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's 13 wide. So we want to actually split it here since this is the middle for some reason that I predicted. We want we want to split it here like that because part of the door is hidden behind this pillar. So obviously this side will look bigger to you when you're looking at it from this angle. And you got to think about what's hidden behind certain areas like this garage door. Obviously, since it's, you know, attached to the pillar, part of it will be here missing. So if you're trying to do a design or something on it, you want to offset it slightly so that, you know, it's symmetrical, even if it means cutting off a little bit of the design behind the pillar, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. So again, the top of this door is going to be cut off from your view, really. So look at that. See, on this side, the door is the window on the door is incomplete, but on this side, it is going to be complete, like so. You know, even though it's not actually even. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what we've done here is that we didn't count. So we want to actually make this side smaller by an extra one because this side should have more squares because this side has it hidden, obviously. So this side will have the completed square, whereas this side will not have the completed square. There we go. That's a lot more accurate now. And we want to do the same for the bottom part of this door because it's going to be a complete glass door because this is going to be like a shop, I guess. Okay, it's not going to be a shop. It's just going to be a really small house. Like I said, I make things up as I go along because that's just easier for me. And there we have it. There's a nice door. I'll show you what it looks like after when the grid is gone as well. Just I'm just working without the grid for now. I'm just working with the grid for now, should I say? Sorry. Okay, yeah, this is going to be a shop because I'm terrible with placing windows. So we want to work on this side real quick. What we want to do is we want a little ledge for the window. Actually, we want an outline for the window first. Of course, the window won't be flat against flat. The window won't be flat against the, what do you call it? It won't be flat against the building. The reason I'm just doing it like this is to get a little outline like that. Okay, so we have the outline now. And now we want to make a little ledge to make it a little bit more 3D. So we're going to get the top view here. And we're just going to... Actually, you know what? Let's pull this up. Can we do that without... Okay. That's going to actually mess up the... We use a rectangle. It's easier. Oh, dear. Okay, that's a plane. Yeah, we use a little rectangle to make it a bit easier for us. We do it 4 in, 4 in. Then we'll do another 4 inwards here. And we'll drop that down to about this high. Now that we have that, we can do the ledge. Make the window a bit more 3D. But before we do that, I want to do this. We're going to do 1 in, 1 in, 1 in, 1 in, 1 in. There we go. Okay. And then now we need to make it 3D. So we're going to switch to the front view, get this in there, switch to the side view. No, we want the top view for this bit. Switch to the top view, connect that to that over here. And that looks somewhat 3D now. Okay. It works, it works. And then of course we'll put the glass there as well. And now, to make the building look a bit less plain, we're going to add a little outline to the bottom. What are they called? I don't know what they're called. They're called something. I don't know, floor liners maybe? But we'll do this. And we'll do that all around the building as well. We'll just do the side first, so I don't have to switch the grids real quick. We'll do that. And then we'll do this again. Then we'll switch to front view and do that all around the building. All the way around. Nice. Finishing touch. There we go. Okay, we could do that to the roof as well, but I don't want to. But yeah, there we have a really, really basic isometric building. I can get rid of the grid as well so you can see that better. And before I end, I'm just going to show you guys how to color in an isometric building. So actually, before we do that, I just want to add one final detail to the building because I can't believe I missed this. This is gotta dear me. Real quick, we just want to do this. Want to make the garage door a little bit more detailed. And it's all about the simple details with isometric drawing. You can make drawings look fancy, but I find the simple isometric drawings are the really satisfying ones to look at. And it's not just video games that you can use this type of art style on. If you're into like map making and pathfinding and whatnot, you know, you can make a whole map out of isometric buildings and whatnot. You can make the points of interest isometric. It's just a really fun way to work. So a really nice art style. And as you can see there, we have some more detail. Maybe we'll add a window here, I guess, just before I teach you about coloring. Yeah, we'll add a quick window to this side. going to be a pretty high window, actually. Again, if you've played something like Minecraft, I guess you'll probably enjoy isometric drawing. It's literally the same thing, but in a drawing software. And if anyone knows me, I play a lot of Minecraft. Play way too much Minecraft, but yeah. Gonna quickly do this window. Switch that to the top view. Do that. There we have it. I've got a little bit more detail to it. It's looking nice. And of course, you can add detail to the roof. You can add details to the. You can even add signs and stuff. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want to. And the reason I'm not going to do that is because I want to show you how to do some coloring in isometric. So as you can see, you've got all these layers now. I'm just going to quickly group them up because it's a mess. It's a mess of layers, and I'm going to duplicate it real quick, and then I'm going to. What am I going to do to it? I'm going to merge them together. Where's the button? I'm going to rasterize it, change it to a pixel layer, just because it's going to be easier for me. Anyway, so now that we have this pixel layer, what you guys are going to want to do is you're going to want to make another layer below it for your colors, but because this is just an example and I don't really care what happens to it afterwards, I am not going to do that. But yeah, this is just an example. Make sure that you keep your line art and your colors separate in case you make a mistake, because you don't want to make something permanent. If you combine the colors and the line art and you make a mistake and you only realize like an hour later, no matter how much you press undo, you're not going to get your work back. Okay, so coloring is pretty simple in this. Do I have a fill tool? Please tell me I have a fill tool on this. Because if I don't have a fill tool, I will be very upset. Because I've actually never used this for coloring. Oh, please tell me I have a fill tool. There must be a fill tool. Oh wait, hold on. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Okay, there we go. So here's the thing about Affinity Designer. It's a combination of both Illustrator and Photoshop. So I have these two buttons here, or I have one button here. Oh, we have three buttons. So we have the export persona. You can use this to preview the thing and see, tune your settings to export. Then you've got the designer persona, which I was using to make the shapes for this project. And then I've also got the pixel persona, which I completely forgot about because of how long it's been since I used this. But the pixel persona is the one we're going to use to color. Essentially, what we were working with earlier was vectors. Now we're working with pixels. So it's converted the image to a pixel image, essentially. Well, it hasn't. It's just made it so that I'm going to be working with pixels now. Now, when you want to color isometric designs, you want three different shades. You want the shade for the top, you want the shade for the side, and you want the shade for the front. And the shade for the top will always be the lightest. So we're just going to fill this with, that's a bit too dark for my liking. We're going to fill this in with a light gray for the top. Then we're going to work with the second color, which is the side, or in my case, this is going to be the front. So the front will be a little bit darker than the top, and then the side is going to be the darkest. So you see that? Already it looks so much better with this color in it. And then we want to work with another color for the building. So we're going to work with, I guess, a blue maybe. What kind of blue is nice? Obviously, there's no roof to this blue thing. So we're going to work with a lighter blue for here. We want to keep the garage separate. So, and then we want to work with a darker blue on the other side. So if you're working with HSL colors, like I am at the top, it's really easy. You can just slide to get the darker and lighter shades. Or you can just download a color palette online. That also works. I just prefer to use the HSL color palette because it's just so much easier for me. Obviously, we've missed a spot here, so we're just going to get a color picker real quick. Yeah, look. Since this is part of the building, we need to make this dark blue as well. And as you can see, this is already starting to look really good. What do we want to color this? I'm thinking maybe like a dark red. Hmm. I wonder how bricks are sort of orangey, aren't they? So maybe we'll start with a dark red there. Ooh, that's quite a nice brown actually. I quite like that. Did you know that brown actually isn't a color? It's just a shade of orange, which I didn't know that. It's very interesting. And of course, this needs to be darker as well. And yeah, that building is now looking good. Of course, now that we're working in a pixel layer, and one of the reasons why you should be working in a different layer to the line art layer is because you get these white lines if you work on the same layer. So the benefits of using a layer below this layer and just having the line art as like a clipping mask is that you won't get these white lines. Obviously, we're getting the white lines because I'm working in pixels now rather than in vector. But yeah, look, we want the roof. Let's make the roof a wacky color. Eh? Let's make it like green. Let's make it a dark green. This side is going to be darker, and then of course we get the top, which is going to be lighter, like that. It's really that easy to make isometric drawings. And we've got the garage door here, which is going to be metal like the roof. So we're going to get the color we used for the that's what happens when you work on the line the line art layer. Occasionally you color it. Okay, there we have that. um I think for the little skirting, I figured out what the word was. It was skirting board. uh, for the skirting we'll use the green again, and we will do that. And then obviously we need a darker shade for the skirt in here. Get that there. Easy. For the windows, we can do like a pinkish color, I guess. Yeah, we'll go with a super light pink for the top of the window frame here. Same for this one over here. And then we go a little bit darker again. And that's for the front here, like that. And over here. Oops. And then we get an even darker shade of pink, and we put that here. This is gonna look ridiculous. Oh my god, I am missing. Okay, there we go. Right, there we have it. And that will go over here. So now we have that done. We're actually going to match the door frame to the windows for the sake of color coordination. Boom. Now we just need to do the windows. Windows, they can be, I guess, blue, like a light blue. And of course, this side will be lighter than this side. And then, of course, we got windows on the door to go as well. So we'll just do that real quick. Bang, 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 bang. And there you have your isometric building. That how long did that take us? That took us half an hour. And once you get good at it and you don't have to explain what you're doing, you'll probably be able to bang out a whole bunch of these in way less than half an hour. And again, that's one of the reasons why this art style is so popular to use when you're a game developer. Let me show you an example of a game that uses this. So here's a mobile game called Idle Supermarket Tycoon, and a lot of these idle games they use this art style. Uh, as you can see, look, so basic. There are no details whatsoever, and a lot. Basically, if you search up the word idle in the Android App Store or the iPhone App Store, you'll find a whole bunch of these games that use this exact same style. And people make a lot of money from this. You know what? After this year is over, I may consider doing it myself. But yeah, isometric drawing is really not that difficult. I recommend everyone gives it a go at least once because it's just so easy to do. That is my workshop. Thank you for watching. Sorry that I'm not very good at explaining things. and you'll probably never see me again. Bye.